They are quite an odd couple there. They don't
I
do
just,
the usual.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm super petty mistaken. If you'd have said that to me the next day when you went to work, I would have overwhelmed you with nothing but flowers. It would have been all over the place all day long, all day. Oh, you don't like it, huh?
Now,
You
I
this.
probably would have
Yeah,
liked that.
but
I'm not
that's
I'm
gonna
like,
not
lie.
okay,
that's
I'm
not
like,
petty.
that nigga crazy.
No,
Oh, he loved me. You see how crazy we are?
like
I'm
I,
like,
you,
that
you,
you
that's
know
not
what?
that's
I'm
not
toxic.
petty.
Well,
You're
that
not
would
petty at all.
be out of his norm to do that. So that's why I've probably been looking at it in a
you wouldn't
whole.
have been able to get in your car. It would have been balloons all in your car.
No,
It would have
y'all see
like you
how
would. I'm telling you, I would have made like you'd have hated it. I'm like,
y'all,
okay, yeah, I
y'all
heard you loud and clear. This will be the last time, and then I'd have just blew my entire load on flowers and balloons.
do y'all see how the equality narrative has failed us, right? It's the worst thing that was ever enacted anywhere in history because it's the we see no difference or no purpose to do things differently as men and women. Well, who sent it? Kelly sent me something that Kevin Sorbo's doing with some kind of masculinity thing for children, and I'm gonna make sure I buy those books and videos and read it to my son. And whatever version comes out for girls, because we have to start teaching the young ones that this whole thing is different. One of the things that you could have done with your softness and your femininity is coach him that this hurt your feelings because the one thing I don't even know your husband. He doesn't, you have to know as a woman, he doesn't want to hurt your feelings, but he did. And there is a way that, like, well, I mean, I'm not going to say she coached me into it. My wife is a serious pouter. Pout, pout, pout. And every dude knows as soon as you fuck up and you see that pout, you're like, oh, shit, like, God. And so it's like, all right, how do I communicate so where I don't get this reaction as much? And I had to go and literally ask her because when we had those type of back and forth interactions, I'm one of those people. Do not ask me direct questions. You will get the real answer. I've never sugarcoated anything. I'll be like, "Why are you asking?" Like, you see what I'm saying, babe? Do you? I don't know. It could be about anything. Do I think she's a great leader at work? I'm gonna tell. I'll be like, man, you be tripping. I'll say exactly what's on my mind, and she'll start pouting. So I went to her and said, well, tell me how I should say things to you. She's like, you know what? I understand and I appreciate your bluntness, but remember, you're not talking to another man. Remember, you're talking to somebody who's learning. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie to you. She's like, don't do that, just let me know what my strengths are too. Like she would say stuff, and it's like coaching me. All like, oh, you know what? I can do that. I cannot hurt you because I don't want to see that. I'm her husband. I don't want to hurt her, right? And he knows he don't want to hurt you. He does not want to hurt you. And when you can coach him a little bit on that, we can become the exact version of a man you want us to be. But if you're just gonna spit fire at us, because we spit it at you, oh yeah, we're gonna be at odds for a long time.
Sugar Mike, I noticed that some of the guys, right, they feel as though in order to tell the truth to somebody, it's got to be blunt and so straight to the point that it's offensive. And if you add anything else, then they not being authentically true.
Hmm.
I completely disagree with that. But when they do that, they they remove the chance for nuance to even exist. It's
Yeah.
like and I've even heard people make the complaint that by not being able to just talk bluntly at a woman, it's like you emasculating them or absolving them of masculinity because they
Yeah.
can't say the thing to them.
So
As a suggestion, I would think we should move away from that's how you because everybody don't receive the message the same. I've
what?
been saying this for the last
Yeah.
6 months.
I
I'm
think
working
that
on that myself.
you're absolutely right. In my case, it's cultural. It's cultural. Nigerian women listen to that shit like it's nothing and be like, "Yes, dear." I had to learn where I think a lot of men fail is their inability to learn or adapt to what their wife wants. Because I told you I don't want to hurt my wife. So if you're only married or only dedicated to giving that blunt style of communication after you see she's hurt by it, yeah, you're a complete asshole. Like, and I do think I do see a lot of men doing that because what they'll do is come to us, for why she always tripping, dog. All I said was, you like, you haven't changed your response yet. We told you last time that you got to do it. So yeah, that part I completely agree with. If you have to be whatever version, adapt to make sure you are getting along with your spouse, because ultimately all men want peace in their house, and you got to create it. So you might as well adapt.
And that does not mean lie, right? Because
No,
I
it doesn't.
because
Yep.
the people who don't understand nuance will say, well, why can't I just say this? Other than that, I'm lying. There is a medium in between delivering a message that's presentable to somebody and then saying whatever comes to your brain, however it comes, and offending them. It's a lot of real estate in between that.
Yeah, can we have a conversation about both these topics? The one thing that there, these are two different situations. So there's a situation of how men and women communicate. There's that conversation because Mike, you must be just must be the 757 in you, because a lot of us act like that. Like if you ask me a genuine question, you about to get the smoke. I'm not trying to be mean to you or anything like that, but if you go ask me a question and then when I answer it, you get upset about it. Like I didn't say anything crazy. You said, "Did I like this outfit?" Nah, I'm particularly like that. And then you go off to the races about your emotions and how you feel when he actually responded to you in a reasonable fashion. But because, and that's the reason why I said I want to talk about both these situations, because I understand people's point of tell the truth but be tactful. But people get offended based upon how they felt, not about what you said. Because if I'm using cuss words in my statement, right? Some people ain't offended by that. It don't matter how you said it. You could have yelled it. You could have said it nicely. They're not offended by that. But a person who's easily offended, even when you're not even saying anything crazy, anything wow, they have to filter it through themselves, and they are offended about themselves, by what they feel, not by what you said. So these conversations really make me at odds with a few things, because like I too, quote unquote, have the same response that, hey, I tell people, listen, if you don't want me to answer the question, don't ask me the question. And I know how to speak tactfully, I know how to be fair, I know how to be reasonable, respectful, and humble with my responses. But just because you feel internally about what I said, that's not my responsibility. When you ask me a genuine question, hey, do you like this outfit? Uh, yeah, I don't particularly like it.
Mhm.
You know what
You
I'm
know
saying?
what? You make a good point though, HD, because I will say now that I've been married, I have some different scenarios to pull from. The one thing I will never uh hold back from is my opinion about what's going on with our children. That's going to come out raw every time. It's not going to be sugar coated. There's too much at stake, too much on the line. And yeah, I will give you the raw, unadulterated truth about that. No adaptation. So you're right. It is nuanced. And when it's her and her feelings, yeah, I don't want to, you pouting all over the place. I'll do that. But yeah, when it comes to the children, no matter how you felt, because the good part is that I actually want you to feel the feeling. I want you to whatever it is. I want our daughter to do blank. I think that's absolute bullshit, and here's why. I want you to feel whatever you're feeling, so you can come around to the logic that I'm trying to get you to come around to, because this is about somebody else other than just us. So yeah, you're right. It is certain situations in which men have to be like that.
Yeah, and I think also we got to understand that there's a different mantle and grace for what men bring, and there's a different mantle and grace for what women bring.
Facts.
Like if women come with the same like nonchalant, no nonsense like response, they may not get the same grace that men will. It's like the way that we cut with our words is usually for a purpose, right? Sometimes when women try to cut you with their words, it's for spite. And it literally is designed to continue to put you down in such a way that she wants you to feel something, even though she didn't do any physical damage to you. And I think that when it comes to us dealing with men and women dynamics, I just think that we need to understand that a man telling you in a matter of fact manner, in some cases, it's not gonna garner the same thing as a woman sometimes putting that out there. Now, of course, there's exceptions to the rule, but more times than not, like if a guy tells you you need to fix that and you need to stop tripping, you'd probably be receptive to that. Versus if a woman says, you need to fix that, stop tripping. We might consider it nagging when we do the exact same thing.
Mm.